Oh boy, we are going all the way back to the good old days of the original Pokemon anime in today's video. We're going to the Indigo League. This is where the journey of Ashe Ketchum started, and I find that now that we are watching the Pokemon Journeys anime, it would be fun to simply just, have a little bit of fun talking about the gym battles that Ashe was going through back in the day, and then ranking all of them from worst to best. So yeah, worst to best is what we're gonna do, but keep in mind this is all based on my opinion, and if you disagree, you can leave your own rankings in the comments down below. Either way, let's get started. The bottom has to be Ashe's battle against Brock. I found this was the least exciting and probably dumbest battle out of all the battles Ashe had. I mean, Ashe straight up defeats Brock's Onix using a Pikachu, right? And I'll explain what I mean about that. Now, I mean, where do I start with this? First of all, we have the whole battle between Pidgeot and Geodude, which was sort of stupid, like actually dumb. It was kind of goofy and it didn't really feel like a proper battle, but just them messing around. And then what got worse is that Ashe actually puts out a Pikachu against an Onix, and then Pikachu ends up in a bind, right? And he asks it to use Thunderbolt. And of course, this doesn't work, right? Because it's an Onix, it just won't work. But what's even dumber is he ends up winning. How? Because Pikachu's electricity causes the sprinklers in the gym to turn on, and this causes Onix to faint. This is cheap, okay? Like, he didn't actually defeat it. I mean, how is this even fair? It was essentially just handed to him. The victory was handed to him of dumb luck and essentially cheating. I don't know about you guys, but I personally find this to be like one of the worst battles Ashe has had, because it didn't really make any sense. And it was a pretty cheap victory for Ashe. Then again, it was the first gym battle, so they did get somewhat better moving forward, but this was definitely the one where I just felt like this just ain't a good battle, and that's why it's at the bottom. So yeah, I'm putting the Sabrina gym battle here next. So yeah, we did see Pikachu go up against her Abra and Kadabra, but eventually end up losing, and then of course we got to see Ashe, head out to, I think, Lavender Town and the Pokemon Tower and whatnot to catch himself a ghost Pokemon, and we do see him catch a Haunter, of course, to use against Sabrina's Kadabra. But here's the strangest part, they don't even end up technically battling. Instead, Haunter makes her laugh, and this allows him to essentially win. This allows Ashe to win, like with massive quotation marks on that win, because, well, Haunter just makes her laugh, and Ashe gets rewarded for this, essentially. And I mean, the worst part is that Ashe then ends up essentially also leaving Haunter with Sabrina, a Pokemon that I thought was really cool and I hoped he would keep, ends up being left there, but luckily the latest Pokemon anime Journeys redeemed this by having Ashe catch a Gengar. So, hey, it was redeemed, but it was a pretty lackluster battle. So, we're putting Misty's battle here, and when it comes to Misty's gym battle, I think that it was actually a really good battle. I mean, Ashe fought really well and almost had the victory. Unfortunately, as per usual, we had Team Rocket interrupting all of it at the end of the day. And of course, one of Misty's sisters then decided to hand Ashe the badge in the end of, the whole situation, believing he deserved it. And to be honest, I think he somewhat did, because he had pretty much defeated Misty by the point that Team Rocket sort of entered the scene or entered the gym. And on top of that, he could have taken out Misty straight away if he had just used Pikachu, but as you might remember, Pikachu didn't want to fight against Misty because he saw her as a friend, so he refused. So again, there was a lot of things that just, kind of blocked him for getting the victory instantly. He could have instantly won this if he just had been allowed to use Pikachu, but he wasn't, so it just made his life a lot more difficult. And that's kind of where this gets annoying, right? If he got to use Pikachu, this would have been an insta victory and it would have been a pretty decent battle and probably higher up on this list, but because it was just kind of contrived for the sake of story, which I understand, it just makes it less of a interesting battle. Though I've got to say, it's one of the better gym battles that Ashe has had. So next is the Koga battle, which was pretty interesting, but also lacking in a way. We get to see Koga take his Venonat, which, he just throws out, but then it literally evolves into a Venomoth upon being called out against Ashe's Pidgeot, which is just mostly destroyed by the Sleep Powder. Then we see Ashe take out his Charmander, which he uses Flamethrower on to stop Stun Spore with. However, at this point, Team Rocket show up and the battle pauses for a bit, or, they try to defeat Team Rocket, so to say. And then after they've done this, they pretty much continue the battle outside, where we see Koga pull out instead his Golbat into battle, which Charmander disposes of pretty solidly by using Fire Spin, and then Ashe gets handed the badge in recognition of Charmander's strength and helping with stomping down, Team Rocket's assault. So with this battle, I have to say it was decent, but it wasn't that special in my honest opinion. I was sort of kind of like short and uneventful in a way, because I feel like, looking at the Misty battle, there was more of a battle there, but I think the reason I put this one higher is because we got to see Charmander properly take on a gym leader really well. I mean, we did see this happen previously as well with Erica, which we'll talk about in a moment, but with this time we got to see him sort of complete the whole thing. So this is what takes us then to the next one, which is Erica, which is only higher than the Koga battle because it was longer and there was more in it. We get to see, Charmander come out and do really well and have a great battle, but I think it was kind of cut short and almost ruined when Gloom is sent out. I mean, the fact that Charmander just instantly feigns to the smell of Gloom, like, it's just kind of stupid to me. Should be, like, required a bit more than that to fully take out Charmander at that point. But beyond that, as soon as Charmander feigns, we see Pikachu step up to fight, but Team Rocket once again interrupt and put the whole gym on fire, causing the battle to get cancelled to save the gym from burning down. And this is where, again, I find the battle to lack a lot because we never get to see it finished up. Instead, Ashe is once again handed the Rainbow Badge without actually winning the battle itself, hence why this one is, like, here at this position rather than any further up, because I think the battle in this was pretty good. Like, we got to see several different Pokemon used, we got to see Ashe used a different amount of Pokemon from his side, we got to see Charmander fight, and almost Pikachu, but then of course it got, interrupted. And the only reason this one is above the Koga one is because this was the first time we got to see Charmander, and Charmander did really well. Alright, we're in the top 3, and I mean, I had to put this one up here. It is the Lieutenant Surge battle, and this was one of the few battles where Ashe actually went for a full battle, and we didn't get to see, like, Team Rocket sort of ruin the battle itself, but we also got to see Ashe as well as Pikachu actually struggle for one of the first times while battling people, right? And when I saw the struggle, I mean, I truly mean it was a struggle. Pikachu had to fight Raichu, which in its first battle against Lieutenant Surge, it loses against. This makes Pikachu consider actually evolving, and it was pretty, like, emotional. It was a very emotional moment in the series, which made me sort of think about how, like, Pikachu sees its whole situation, like how it deals with the fact that it will, it was still a Pikachu, it hadn't evolved, whereas it was having to fight this evolved version. But then of course, Ashe and Pikachu get together, they fight alongside each other and realize that, hey, Pikachu doesn't need to evolve. As long as they work together, they can still claim victory. And then they end up battling and dealing enough damage and taking out Lieutenant Surge's Raichu in their second attempt and second battle, gaining the respect from Surge, but also gaining the respect from the audience. And that's why I think this battle was really awesome, as it involved both emotion as well as fierce battling, and just overall was a great episode. So I'm putting the Viridian Gym on the second place for a reason. That is the fact that Ashe didn't actually get to battle Giovanni, and this is why this one isn't on the top. But instead, of course, only Gary got to sort of take on Giovanni, and Ashe was given Jesse and James to fight, or more or less Jesse, right? And I mean, the battles themselves here against Jesse were pretty amazing, right? Seeing Jesse use 3 Pokemon handed to her, and then also Arbok and Coughing, and still getting destroyed by Pikachu's power was just insane. Like, this was straight up a really good battle, and only failing, and getting to the second spot and not the number 1 spot for one big reason, that specifically being the fact that it wasn't actually the proper gym leader that was meant to be there that fought Ashe himself, and instead it was, again, Team Rocket rather than their leader Giovanni. If it was Giovanni, I think this would have been even better. I think it would have been an awesome battle, but then again, we got to see, Jesse, James, etc. fight instead, which is what makes it less interesting, but it was also a good kind of way to cap off, the end of Ashe's gym journey. So the Blaine battle is straight up amazing, which is why it's the best battle, the best gym battle, that is, from Kanto. First, we see Squirtle being used but fully destroyed by Blaine's Ninetales. However, Ashe then switches out into his Charizard, and Blaine switches into his Rhydon from his Ninetales. However, Charizard is lazy and doesn't want to fight, so Ashe pulls out Pikachu instead, who pulls out some kind of strange thing. I mean, it literally uses its, like, it just attacks the nose of Rhydon to take it out. It's weird, okay? But that doesn't stop Blaine from calling out his ace, that being Magmar, into battle. And oh boy, I mean, Magmar is just badass. Like, it comes in with, like, fire punches, stopping Pikachu's Thunderbolts with its mere fists. Ashe sort of stops the battle at this point, and we get to see the battle resume at a bit later, where we get to see Charizard finally decide to step up and fight, and we get to see the best standoff between 2 awesome fire-type Pokemon. Charizard is on one side and fights with its full might, stopping Magmar's many attacks, but surviving thanks to its wings, and then having a standoff with Magmar in the middle of the battlefield, and also being then pushed into straight up a volcano, down into lava. However, then Charizard flies up from the lava and carries this little Magmar into the sky, and then all the way down into the lava. He drops him, and whenever Magmar jumps out again, you assume it's going to continue fighting, but nope, it gets too dizzy, and it actually faints and is fully taken out. Like, this has to be one of the best battles from the Kanto generation in general, in terms of the anime, and definitely, out of all the Kanto gym battles, this one is my favorite. We get to see Charizard fully shine here. Like, it's the perfect moment. As we've seen Charmander go through several gym battles, here is where it truly shines, and it was a great time for it to actually shine and show off its amazing powers. So yeah, this is why this one is number one. So that is the end of the video, guys. What do you guys think? Do you want to see a part 2 to this video? I think we can go and look at the Johto gym battles that Ashe took on and rank those as well. If you want to see a ranking video for those, then please leave a like down below. If we hit 800, yes, 800 likes on this video within 48 hours, you can expect to see part 2, which is Johto, very, very soon. Also, check out my secondary channel, Astra Poke, where I'm going to be doing just a bunch of Pokemon gameplay and compilation type content. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.